Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Good day to all of you, our loyal followers out there. You're welcome to another edition of Money Radio. Today is Monday, and you are on to the national economy segment of Money Radio. And we are discussing an interesting topic today, and it's one that is affecting many Nigerians. And for what reasons, we will get to understand as we go into the discussion. It's about Ponzi scheme. Why Nigerians continue to fall prey to Ponzi schemes? Yes. In the studio with me today is the usual face, Insa Anthony Uko. You're welcome. Insa.
Thank you.
You look bright.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm your host, Case Harmon, and we are poised to deliver to you what there is about Ponzi schemes. So, Insa, let's go straight to business. Ponzi scheme has really I would say deprived many Nigerians of their hard-earned income. Why are Nigerians falling prey? But before we get to that, what is Ponzi scheme? First of all, could you educate our listeners? What is Ponzi scheme?
Yeah. Ponzi scheme is an investment that, or I would put that in quotes, an investment that promises very high returns. And but the aim of the promoter is actually to use money that is collected from new investors to pay the old ones. So what it keeps the promoters keep doing is asking for new monies. So long as money keeps coming in, the first set of people who are putting their monies into it, they get paid, and it's assumed that everything is good and rosy. But of course, it's the ones who come later when the number of people have increased, and then the new monies are not coming in enough as it should. Those are the ones that have their fingers burnt.
They lose.
They
That's
lose.
when the thing gets when it crashes.
Yeah, when it gets busted.
Do you remember some of the famous Ponzi schemes that have defrauded Nigerians?
The very one that comes to mind is MMM.
So you speak about this issue with such passion and suspecting. Have you been defrauded? Or have your fingers been burnt, or have your fingers been oiled? Which one? True confession.
Well, that sometimes, when they say something looks too good to be true, it should be taken at face value that it's actually too good to be true. But for some reasons, maybe because of some prevalent reasons, especially in the Nigerian economy, though Ponzi scheme is not a Nigerian alone phenomenon.
Yeah.
But I think some conditions within the economy makes it thrive.
Okay.
A lot of people still go into it despite all the warnings from regulators, especially. So people still patronize it. I have not really gotten my fingers burnt. So
have your fingers been oiled?
So to speak. Well,
you want to make the true confession or not? Have your fingers been oiled? Since you said they have not been burnt.
My fingers have not been burnt.
Okay.
So let's leave it at that.
That means you are one of the beneficiaries. Well, let's leave it as that as you suggest. So, why are Nigerians falling prey? Because this thing, according to figures, if you look at the national economy, the figures say that some 300 billion has been.
That's really huge.
Yes.
And just within 5 years.
Yes.
You can imagine Nigerians losing 300 billion in 5 years. That's huge.
So there have been several warnings now from the monetary authorities. So why are people still falling prey to Ponzi schemes?
Experts have said, I've attributed this to greed. They feel that because the promoters will come with very fancy and very attractive rates. For instance, they can say put in 100,000 naira and you get back 100,000. That's 100% within a very short.
Yeah, what length of time now? Is it a month, 2 months?
We have even seen cases where they have said 24 hours. Put it today, tomorrow you get 200,000 for that's 100% in one day, and they will give you all kinds of phony investments that they are putting this monies into. Meanwhile, if anyone who takes a critical look at those the side investments that they want to put the monies to, and then the economic the investment situation prevalent in the country, you know that there is no way that these those kind of returns can be made at such short period.
Mhm.
But they still go. So that's what justifies the fact that greed plays a very huge role in why a lot of people get their fingers burnt, despite all the warnings, all the calls from the regulatory authorities that people should not patronize unregistered investment schemes.
Is that all? Is it only greed? What else are what other reasons people? Because look, if a person is greedy and he invests his money in this scheme, and maybe even if he succeeds, if his fingers are oiled instead of burnt, he has seen or heard about people whose fingers have been burnt to go right back into another Ponzi scheme. It's surprising that people still go that deep or still make that kind of risky investment.
Yeah, besides greed, we have the issue of not having so many investment windows, very viable investment windows within the country. We have I know we have the bonds, we have the stock market, uh, money market instruments, and so on. And a lot of people, besides putting their monies in the bank or going investing in stocks, and I dare say a lot of people also had their fingers seriously burned when the stock market crashed
Of course.
in 2018.
So that may have contributed.
So that, yes, that may have contributed because a lot of people invested in stocks, and stocks are well regulated. But within that period, we had a lot of people putting money in the regulated companies. The offers were well regulated. The regulatory authorities were aware of it, and a whole lot of Nigerians, both the financially literate and not so literate ones, rushed in and they put in their resources. And when the market crashed, so much money was lost. So they are like, well, the stock market is equally not that stable.
Yes.
It's also volatile. Anything can happen on it. So you're still taking a risk. And then this one's now, the alternative is leaving their monies in the bank, which yields next to nothing. Imagine, especially if it's a savings account.
It's like
in fact, someone said it's a shaving account because it actually begins to shave that money. Every month. There's one deduction or the other, one charge,
especially all these stamp duties and that duty and all of that.
Then you have ATM maintenance fees, one fee or the other, that you could actually leave some money if you left not so much money in a savings account. Just give that account a number of years, you find out that everything is wiped off. So who wants to do that? Then the bonds now, the federal government bonds or the treasury bills and the others, while a lot of Nigerians are not quite aware of how it works, the ones who know, they look at the yield. Some of them will tell you, will give you 6%, some maybe 8%, depending on the tenure.
Yeah.
And you look at that for a whole year, that's per annum.
Yeah, per annum.
And then inflation rate is
18%.
As of last month, it was in the 17% region. So if you leave that money there for 1 year and you're getting 8%,
that is negative return.
That is negative return, because at that point, the capital plus the return wouldn't buy what you would have used it to buy before you invested. So when you look at all that, the investment space in the country does not offer so much hope for people to put their monies into. So all this coupled together, and they're like, oh, if I have to take a risk, let me take a risk. Like people will say, if you want to eat toad, eat the one that has egg. So it's a gamble, and they're like, okay, it can work, it may not work, but they often lose much more than.
Yeah, it's a serious gamble. In fact,
very
many people lose. A report that was filtered out of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, a report that somebody filtered out of it, said that up to 1,000 letters are received by that institution per month. 1,000 letters per month complaining about Ponzi, being scammed by Ponzi.
That's a lot. 1,000 letters in a month. Yes. That's really a lot.
Yes, that is a lot. And in an economy where people are really suffering to make ends meet, and you are, the funny thing is, it in a way makes the rich richer and the poor poorer, and that is widening the wealth gap. The wealth gap is widened when such things happen, where you have one person or a few persons taking so much from the poor, because you usually, and let's face the fact, it's poor people like us that will. I am. It's poor people that would like to make quick money because they want to catch up, and usually they fall prey. You agree with me? So
we have seen it's not just poor people. When we are going on a break, right?
Yes.
When we
let's take a break. When we come,
break,
we'll
look at it.
When we come back from that short break. So for us, please stay with us. When we come back from a break, then we'll look at who are the investors, and we'll look at other issues about Ponzi scheme. Please stay with us.
sponsorship, and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Welcome back to you, our viewers, and it's also I say welcome back to you. Thanks for staying with us. I remain your host, Case Hammond. So we're talking about who are the people who usually fall prey to Ponzi schemes. I was claiming that poor people like us fall prey to Ponzi scheme because we want to catch up fast and with such attractive offers. You can't tell me if I have 100,000 today and you say put it in and then I'll get 200,000 tomorrow, or even if it's a week or two. That is good investment. That is good investment on the surface.
Yeah.
But how good is it? Many people have gotten their hands burnt. Like we said just before going on break, 1,000 letters are received by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission monthly. That is 12,000 on average per year.
Yeah.
Yes, that is for those who are even bold enough to say I have been
out.
Because there are many
Yes.
people who like to
Who wouldn't want to come out to admit that?
Yes, they have been
they've been
scammed, and it's because people think the person
How
who
will
says like me.
Yes, how will someone like me go and tell them I've been scammed?
But the reality is people are being scammed.
Of course.
And keeping such things secret only makes it easier for the scammers.
Yeah. So on your assumption that only the poor people get scammed, that's not correct at all, because
give me statistics. What do you mean?
Well, the trending Ponzi scam right now, you must have heard of that, the Imagine Global Solutions, where
But don't
right
call it
now,
a scam yet.
alleged scam.
Oh, okay.
Alleged scam. But actually, the promoters, a couple, they are at large as we speak.
Oh, I heard about a couple. I remember
Yes,
now.
they are actually at large. So they are out of the country, and it's assumed that they are in Antigua and Barbuda.
Wow.
And then the government over there is saying, okay, the moment I cite them, we are going to arrest them and have them.
Who knows if the government in Antigua, or whether if they are there, but who knows if they were going to bring them out, because it's a place to spend their money.
Of course, because they bought the citizenship with all of this money. Because there are countries where you have to buy citizenship by investment.
Yeah.
Which is what they did. So to the fact of that scheme, right now 22 billion naira is at stake
with this couple
under the Imagine Global Solution. And what baffles me is that there was a report that one single individual invested 1 billion naira.
I will hold you there for a moment. 1 billion naira.
And
you didn't say 1 million.
I did not say 1 million. No, I said 1 billion naira.
Oh, that debunks my claim that it's
by
poor people.
far. It is not poor people at all. In fact, in these schemes, it is even the rich that tend to make so much from it.
Yes.
Because if you put in your 5,000, how long are you going to do that
before
it actually crashes for you to have gotten something substantial from it? But someone who can afford to put in 500,000, 100,000, a million, 500 million,
and a billion,
and then gets it off from every other person's contribution, including that small 5,000. Everything will be lumped together and paid to that individual who put in so much. And then at the end of the day, when there's no new money to pay the small people, that person has gone away free, and the little ones are the ones paying for it. So it's not just, in fact, it's those who usually have ready monies to cashing into this thing at the very beginning
Yeah.
are the rich ones, and they cash into it, and then every other person that is struggling to get that money to join, those monies are used to pay them, and once it crashes, the ones who came in first have gone with the money, while the later comers are the ones bearing the burden of it. So it's not really this one. We have it, big institutions, and what baffles me with this one is that it's been on for 5 years.
This global.
Yes, it's been on for 5 years, and they were getting very good returns, and people, a lot of people were investing and reinvesting, and nobody bothered to check whether this company was registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Usually, when people are carried away by that euphoria,
By that, yes, that
joy,
euphoria of
cashing
I'm
in.
cashing out, and that spreads fast. When this one cashes in, cashes out, you tell the friend, "Oh, I just cashed out from this investment," and then nobody bothers to check what are those people really doing. Can they sustain this returns for a very long time?
So with this now, so what is the government doing, or what can the government do? Because this thing is not just it's impoverishing many innocent Nigerians, or not. I won't say innocent, unsuspecting Nigerians. It is. So what can the government do to at least put a hold on this kind of fraud?
I'm actually not holding forth for government here, but I would say that the regulatory authorities, they've been hammering it. That's what they just have to keep doing, ringing it more and more, that Nigerians should find out the licensing status. Okay, so now we're talking registration. A lot of people, many of these companies usually flaunt registration with CAC.
Yeah.
But the regulatory authorities are saying that being registered with CAC does not mean they are licensed to carry out to have access to investment funds from the public. So besides asking them if they show the CAC report, one needs to go further to find out, okay, are you registered with SEC?
Yeah.
So that you even know that if something happens, you can bring them before the investment tribunal.
Yes.
But in this case now, you cannot bring them under the investment tribunal. Does not even come because they are not registered with SEC in the first instance.
Funny enough, I've never heard about any, at least locally, I've never heard about anybody being arrested because of, after a Ponzi scheme being busted. I've never heard of any arrest. Is there any arrest?
I think we've reported a number of arrests
What
here
about
and
prosecution
there.
and?
That's what is not really widely known, whether they've really been prosecuted, and so that's another area where they have to make this. If for instance the Securities and Exchange Commission, if you've arrested, if you are prosecuted,
that would serve as a deterrent.
Yes, that would, because let's create that awareness and let more people know the people that have been arrested and prosecuted. Otherwise, it's going to be, because when you really look at it, it's not, Securities and Exchange Commission wouldn't come and at your own personal level tell you
Yes,
whether to invest or not
or
to
not.
invest. It is the information at your disposal, and that would make you would be the one to make up your mind on that. But when you have you really, everyone needs to have access to all this information freely to
But
be able to know.
besides that, there should be a way to trace this money. 22 billion. This goes through the banks.
Of course,
That, this,
it goes through the bank.
yeah, it goes through the institution. So
As we speak, the banks of Imagine Global
yeah,
were actually, the bank accounts have been frozen.
when you say frozen, that person's bank account or the couple's bank account has been frozen. You
Yeah,
mean?
all the bank accounts that involves Imagine Global
Okay.
have been, but then um, no one knows what
But
goes.
the name of that couple, or yes, they should have they should be readily available.
The
The names,
name?
yes.
Of course, the names are everywhere. Oh, I didn't
That
mention
is.
Bamise and Elizabeth Ajetumobi. It's
Uh,
been everywhere. Their names are known. Something is a business they've been on. In fact, the man actually was a banker. He resigned from the bank to face it, and they had been living very lavish lifestyles. Very lavish lifestyles.
you think 22 billion is small money not to live lavish lifestyle? We're talking about. So maybe when things get better in the economy and there are better investment
Investment
outlets and
outlets.
the inflation rates, inflation is down, then we'll see there should be better
And
alternatives.
yeah,
Because
and
look,
even the issue of unemployment is also
that is another thing.
is contributing, because if a lot of these youths have good jobs,
They wouldn't
something
be
that
going.
brings in steady income,
Yeah.
they will be able to, they will not want to make ends, they will not want to make it rich so fast. They have something that they can always look forward to an
Yes.
income from.
You
But
know,
when they have to make ends meet, by all means.
just like they say, a dying man will try to cling on to a black thread just to survive. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a drowning man will try to cling on to just anything floaty. You want to cling on to it, just to come on shore. It is really sad. So you can't, in a way, you can't blame 100% those people who delve into such risky investments. The reason is because there's just no other way. If
Mm.
I have, say, 100,000 in my account and there is nowhere to invest it, I'm going to consume it. I have to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to consume it until it dries up. So there has
Mm-hmm.
to be a way.
Yeah,
The natural instinct of any human being is to try to replenish it.
of
And
course.
in that effort to replenish your savings,
Mm.
that's where you get caught up in Ponzi scheme, which is really sad. But the take there is, let's be careful. What is too good to be true may actually be too good to be
Yes.
true
More often than not.
more often than not.
It's too good to be
Yes,
true.
and some people actually when they go into these schemes, putting in what they are willing to
Mm,
lose.
of course.
But I tell you one thing about the human being:
Mm,
a person may easily
mm,
give you 5,000 naira as dash.
mm-hmm.
Take this, go and enjoy yourself, and the person may feel good about it.
Yeah.
But if that person loses 50 naira or
Mm-hmm.
500 naira
Mm-hmm.
because you have tricked him, he
Yes.
feels bad.
Bad.
Yes. So
And for a very long time.
for a very long time, the whole me has
Mhm.
been tricked. That kind of thing. So let's be careful. That's the much we can take today on the national economy segment of Money Radio. It's been nice having you again.
Thank you.
I'm, I've been your host, Case Hammond. Thanks to you, our producers, but our thanks mostly goes to you who follow us. We appreciate you very much. Continue to follow us for the latest on the Nigerian economy. And I also admonish you, COVID-19 is real. Stay safe.